Let's begin by offering our respects to Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My PPT is not opening up somehow. 1 second. Oh, yes. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly Bhagavad Gita classes. Thank you all very much for joining. We have with us here Divya, Aunty Nita, Aja, Devina, Disha Melwani, Durga Prasad, Hema Bangari, Karuna Jadwani, Kirtilata, Manju, Meena Bharwani. Then we have N.C. Venkatchari. My parents are there, Ritu Lalwani. We have Romi, Saket, Shivani, Varsha, Venkatesh A, and Sri Radhe Hari Devidasi. Okay. So what did we see in the previous class? Which chapter did we begin?
11.
Chapter 11
What's the title of chapter 11?
is a universal form.
The universal form. Yes. So what is happening in this chapter?
Krishna
Well,
is showing his universal form to Arjuna.
Yes, Krishna is
Happy
showing his
battlefield.
universal form to Arjuna. Why? Does Arjuna request it or Krishna shows it on his
yes,
own?
Arjuna requested.
Isn't it? So why does Arjuna request it? Does he not know that Krishna is the supreme controller, supreme proprietor? He pervades the entire universe. Does Arjuna know it already or no?
Yes.
So why is he asking, why is he requesting Krishna to show the universal form then?
For the benefit of the other devotees.
Yes, for benefit of others and for all future generations, so that there is evidence, no? Krishna does not only talk. There are others also who say that they are the supreme personality of Godhead, but then they cannot show the universal form. So therefore, for all future generations, we see that how Arjuna requests Krishna to show the universal form and Krishna complies to that request. And how many people are describing this universal form?
4.
Who are they?
Mother Yashoda.
No. How many are describing the universal form? Like describing what is it that Krishna has shown? How many are
Sanjaya.
Sanjaya, yes. Who else? Yeah, Krishna, Sanjaya, and Arjuna, says Durga Prasad in the chat. Yeah, first Krishna himself describes what he is going to show to Arjuna. So this description comes before Krishna shows a universal form so that Arjuna can know what to expect. Sanjaya, of course, is describing it to whom?
Dhritarashtra.
To Dhritarashtra. And then Arjuna is describing what he is seeing. No, so there are three different people who are describing that vision, the vision of the universal form. Okay, who can read today?
I can read.
Okay, thank you, Divya.
Come.
So how many verses we finished in the previous class?
25.
25. A second. I have a problem with my laptop today somehow. Okay, can you all see the screen?
No. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's hear the shloka first.
अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिबालसङ्घैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद्विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः.
Can I read?
Yes, please.
All the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
So here Krishna is describing what is going to happen in the future on the battlefield. Krishna is already showing Arjuna that all these people here, Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, along with their kings and our chief soldiers, all these people are going to meet with death. So, see, previously Krishna indicated to Arjuna that all that you want to see in the future also you can see in this universal form. So here Krishna is showing the future, what is going to happen on the battlefield. See, when before the war started, initially when Arjuna told Krishna to please take the chariot between the two armies, and then Arjuna was being overwhelmed with compassion for his relatives. And then he is thinking at that time that if I don't fight the war, then I can save the life of my relatives. No. So what was the problem Arjuna was facing was that he was feeling compassion and he didn't want his relatives to die, and he didn't want that he should be the cause of death of his relatives. So here Krishna is showing Arjuna that irrespective of whether you fight or not, anyway these people are going to meet with their death. So therefore Krishna is showing Arjuna that what is going to happen in the future, whether you fight or you don't fight, anyway all these people, all the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, they are all going to meet with their death. And you can see why his teeth are previously described as terrible. No, previous shloka we saw awful teeth. So why the teeth are awful teeth is because in that teeth he can see trapped with heads smashed between the teeth. So it's a very, very frightful and terrible vision for Arjuna to see.
यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामी नरलोकवीरा विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति.
As the many waves of rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
So here Krishna is giving an analogy of what he has just explained. Previously, in the previous shloka, what did Krishna say? He said that, what did Arjuna see? Arjuna saw that all the warriors are entering into the mouth of the universal form. So this is being explained as with an analogy. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. So just as how the rivers are rushing into the ocean, in the same way, all these warriors are entering into the blazing mouth of the universal form. Then what else does Arjuna see? He gives one more analogy to describe what he is seeing.
यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगा विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः.
I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
So what else is Arjuna seeing? Arjuna says that he is seeing all people rushing full speed into the mouth. And then he says, again, he gives another analogy of how the moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. So there are two analogies that Arjuna is giving to describe what he is seeing. No, what are the two analogies? River going into the ocean and the moths rushing into the fire and meeting their death. So we can compare these two analogies, because one may argue, okay, so what's the big deal about spirituality if anyway everybody has to meet death, anyway everyone has to die, no, whether you're sinful or whether you're spiritual, whether you're a pure devotee or you're a demon, anyway everybody has to meet death. So what's the big deal about spirituality? So the difference is here, you can see the mode of dying. Let's compare river to Bhishma Dev and the moth rushing into the fire to Duryodhana. Now, what is the mode of dying? For Bhishma, the thing is, circumstances forced him to fight on the side of Adharma and die because he had taken a vow. No, he had taken a vow to protect the throne of Hastinapur. So circumstances forced him to fight on the side of irreligiosity. So river enters into the ocean involuntarily by nature's arrangement. It's just that the river is going, not that the river wants to go there, but involuntarily the river is flowing into the ocean. Now coming to the moth purposely, voluntarily enters into the fire. No, it's not nature's way. The moth is getting attracted to the light and therefore it is voluntarily entering into the fire and it is meeting into death. So Duryodhana also, he intentionally rejected the peace proposal and went into the fatal war to meet his death. So it's not that circumstances forced Duryodhana to fight that war, unlike Bhishma. Then what is the essence and feeling at the time of death? Now, what is the essence of water? The essence of water is that it is liquid, no? Water. River, and it continues to exist in a large body of water. So that essence that it's a liquid or it is water, that essence of the river is not lost even after it merges into the ocean. In the same way, Bhishma is very happy because his essence. Now see, Bhishma is on the spiritual platform. Bhishma is not on the material platform. So for Bhishma, whether he's serving the Lord in the material world or he's serving the Lord in the spiritual world, it does not make any difference. So a devotee, whether he serves here or he serves in the spiritual world, for him it's only a transition. He's only transitioning from the material world to the spiritual world, but he continues to engage in devotional service. No, for him it's only a transition. So a devotee is happy. So in the same way, Bhishma is happy because his essence, the soul, continues to exist happily with the Lord. So he is happy. A devotee is happy in the material world also because anyway, he is connected with the Lord through his devotional service. So for him, there is no drastic change. It's only a transition. But for the moth, his body is reduced to ashes. The moth has a gross body and now it is reduced to ashes. So Duryodhan, what he thought was his essence. No, for Duryodhan, his essence is that he is a material body because he's on the material platform. So therefore, his body and his assets was completely destroyed. For them, for a non-devotee, death is very, very painful. But for a devotee, death is not painful because it's only a transition. Then the mode of living. Before entering the ocean, the river provides water to living entities. So it is nourishing all the vegetation, the crops, the animals, the birds, the living entities. So many of them are benefiting from the river water before the water goes into the. So in the same way, Bhishma, throughout his lifetime, he provided others wisdom and affection and protection also. So a devotee also, before a devotee can give up his body, so many people can benefit by coming in contact with a pure devotee. So many people can benefit spiritually, get blessings, get knowledge, get the association of a devotee. So like that, you can compare this analogy. And then in the moth, in craving for fire, it does no good to anyone. So in craving and scheming for the Kuru kingdom, Duryodhan did no good to anyone. Actually, he harmed everyone. So this is the difference, no? Even although a devotee and a non-devotee have to meet with death, there is a difference in the mode of dying, the feeling and the essence at death, and also the mode of living. So this is how we understand these two different analogies that Arjuna is giving here. River flowing into the ocean versus moth rushing into the fire. See this verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is spoken by Bhishma Dev when he was on the bed of arrows after the war. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. So here, in the case of the warriors on the side of Duryodhan, they also attained their original forms after death. Everybody on the battlefield got this destination. But we may not be so fortunate. No, one must not think that, okay, I can also do all nonsense like Duryodhan, and I can also attain my original form. I can also attain my spiritual form, my Swarupa. We may not be so fortunate like Duryodhan. See here in the pulpit, Srila Prabhupada explains, all the soldiers and persons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual form like the Lord after their death, because by the causeless mercy of the Lord, they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. So the reason why they were able to attain their original spiritual form was because they were able to see the Lord there on the battlefield face to face. The conditioned souls rotating in the evolutionary cycle from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma are all in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by one's own actions and awarded by material nature. So what form we currently have, this material body, we have got because of our own actions, by material nature, nature's way, right? What we did, as you sow, so shall you reap. The material forms of the conditioned souls are all foreign dresses, and when the conditioned soul becomes liberated from the clutches of material energy, he attains his original form. So when we are free from Maya, then we can attain our original spiritual form. The impersonalist wants to attain the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, but that is not at all congenial to the living sparks, parts and parcels of the Lord. So why? Because an impersonalist, when he attains a Brahman effulgence, he just exists, no? But there is no activity that he can engage in. So ultimately he gets bored and he falls down. Therefore, the impersonalists again fall down and get material forms, which are all false to the spirit soul. A spiritual form, like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotees of the Lord, either in the Vaikunthas or in the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is 10% spiritual, is the Swarupa of the living being. And all the living beings who participated on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on both sides attained their Swarupa as confirmed by Bhishma Dev. So Lord Shri Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas, he was also merciful to the other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishma Dev wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord, although his position as an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances. The conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead, within or without, attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of life. So the whole thing boils down to what we are looking at, what is our consciousness, what is going on in our thoughts, no, at the time of death. So because everyone on the battlefield, they died looking at Krishna, therefore they were able to attain their original form, their Swarupa. See, for a non-devotee who's engaged in sinful activities, death is like this, no? Who comes to take the soul at the time of death?
Yamraj.
Yeah, the Yamadutas, the agents of Yamaraj, no? So they come and they are very, very they don't look very pleasant, no? It's very fearful to even look at the Yamadutas. And they come and they snatch, no? They take the soul, they wrap the soul with ropes, and the soul is forcefully taken away from the body because the living entity does not want to die, no? Nobody wants to die, no living entity wants to die. So he doesn't want to die, and he is so fearful looking at the Yamadutas, and he doesn't want that the soul is removed from the body, so it's forcefully taken. So death for a non-devotee is like this. But death for a devotee, who comes to take the soul of a devotee?
Lord Krishna. Krishna.
Vishnu Dutas, yes, the agents of Lord Vishnu. Wait, let me see if I have a picture here. Here, you can see that the Vishnu Dutas, so they are very beautiful looking. No, it's not looking at them. It's very pleasant to look at them, and one can fall in love with them. So they are taking the devotee with all due respects on a celestial airplane, and then the destination is that if he goes to Goloka, he is personally greeted and embraced by the Lord. So a devotee is one who, when he is alive also, he benefits others, and also at the time of death, the death is not painful and not fearful for a devotee. So you see, Srila Prabhupada, how many people across the world have benefited because of one pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada is that personality who actually changed the course of history in the world. If the Western world knows anything about vegetarianism today, it's because of Srila Prabhupada. It was he who opened the first chain of vegetarian restaurants worldwide. Previously in the West, vegetarianism was something that they would not understand at all. It was very normal to eat meat in the Western world. So many thousands of people even today continue to benefit because of Prabhupada's books, because he took that journey and he went to the West to follow the instructions of his spiritual master. So a devotee, when he is on the planet, so many living entities benefit from him, and even when he departs, that departure is nowhere equal to the departure of a non-devotee. So anyway, coming to this sinful activity, there are 4 regulative principles. What are the 4 regulative principles?
No meat eating,
No meat eating,
no intoxication,
no intoxication,
illicit sex, no illicit sex,
no illicit sex,
and no intoxication, no gambling.
no gambling. Yes, these are the 4 regulative principles. So why do we have to follow these 4 regulative principles? Is because there are 4 pillars upon which human society rests. There are 4 pillars of religion. What are the 4 pillars of religion? Mercy, truthfulness, austerity, and cleanliness. So dharma stands on these 4 pillars: mercy, truthfulness, austerity, and cleanliness. When we engage in meat eating, which of these 4 pillars do we break?
Mercy,
Mercy, yes. When we engage in gambling, which of these 4 principles we break?
Truthfulness.
Truthfulness, yes. When we engage in illicit relationship, which are the 4 principles we are breaking?
Austerity.
Moral life.
Cleanliness, yes. And then what is left?
austerity,
Austerity. So we break the pillar of austerity by engaging in which sinful activity?
gambling,
No, gambling, we already said truthfulness.
No meat eating.
Meat eating, we already said for mercy. Which one is left?
Relationship.
Intoxication.
Intoxication, yes, intoxication. So when we engage in intoxication, then we are breaking the pillar of austerity. See, if we engage in sinful activities, and we may be progressing materially because in the past we have done some punya karma, so we may be making a lot of money, we may be living very comfortably. Still, we are in the prison house of this material world. We may be moving from a 3rd class prison house to a 1st class prison house. But the point is, we are still in the prison house. So this is not real freedom. Materially, being comfortable materially or progressing materially, being more opulent, does not mean that we are free. We are still in the prison house. So there is no, what is the use of moving from a 3rd class jail to a 1st class jail? The point is, we are still in jail. So if you want to come out of the prison house, if you want to come out of the jail in the true sense of the term, then we have to give up our sinful activities and engage in devotional service. Chant 16 rounds minimum every day under the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master. So what's the problem with meat eating? What is the problem with intoxication? What is the problem with gambling? and what is the problem with illicit sex. This text you can read when I share the slides in the group. Say, coming to illicit relationship, there is this very nice verse. Narada Muni speaks to King Yudhishthir. He says, woman is compared to fire and man is compared to a butter pot. Therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secluded place. Similarly, he should also avoid association with other women. One should associate with women only for important business and not otherwise. That's why Vedic society does not permit free intermingling of men and women, because the mind is so strong, Maya is so strong that one can get carried away. What will happen if you bring fire and butter close? What will happen? Will the butter maintain its
Butter
original
will
form?
melt.
Butter will melt, isn't it? So in the same way, when women and men are brought together, then there is every chance of a fall down. There is every chance of a fall down. Therefore, Vedic society does not allow free intermingling of men and women. And who says this? Who
The
said this?
Shastras.
Narada Muni.
Narada Muni, yes, thank you. So avoid the 4 pillars of sinful life. Meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. Let's go to 30.
लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रं भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो.
O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays.
So here Krishna is describing the effulgence that is coming from the universal form. And again, he's saying how he sees the universal form is devouring all people from all the sides. So there are so many mouths, millions of mouths are there. So from all the sides, all the from his flaming mouths, all the people are being devoured by this universal form. By what name is Arjuna referring to Krishna in this verse?
Vishnu.
Vishnu. Again, he's referring to him as Vishnu, which is a more formal way of referring to Krishna. See, we discussed in the previous class how the rasa or the mellow of the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna is changing here temporarily only. Initially, what was the relationship when the Bhagavad Gita began? What was the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna? It was that of friendship. Then we saw when Krishna started to show the universal form, when he was showing the universal form, initially when Arjuna was seeing the universal form and how the universal form is pervading everywhere, Arjuna's mellow or rasa changed to wonder. No, he was wonderstruck. But then later on, when he observed the Kala Rupa of Krishna, when he's seeing that this universal form is devouring all the people, then he describes that he's feeling fearful. No, he says that all the living and all the residents of the other planetary systems are disturbed, are perturbed, and so am I. Arjuna says. So you see, his rasa is changing from friendship to wonder to fear. But of course, it's only temporary, because after this, post this again, Arjuna continues to ask the important questions to Krishna till the end of the chapter. Okay, let's go to 31.
आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपो नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्.
O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what you what your mission is.
So what is Arjuna saying? O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. Now, does Arjuna not know?
Of course he knows.
He knows, no? Previously also Arjuna identified in, if you see 11.16, there Arjuna identifies and says that he identifies what he's seeing. He says, oh, universal form. He refers to the universal form as, oh, universal form. So he knows very well that this is the universal form of Krishna. But what has taken Arjuna by surprise is the Kala Rupa. No, Arjuna was not expecting to see that Kala Rupa. Neither did Arjuna request Krishna to show the Kala Rupa. What was Arjuna requesting? What did Arjuna request? Krishna in the beginning of the chapter, he says, show me that form by which you are pervading the entire universe. So Arjuna's desire was to see the universal form where Krishna is showing how he pervades the entire universe. That's what Arjuna requested, and that is what Arjuna was expecting to see. Arjuna did not request to see the Kala Rupa. He did not request to see the all-devouring form of Krishna. No, all-devouring form of Krishna he didn't ask for, neither did he expect to see. So that has taken Arjuna aback completely. No, so now he's saying, please tell me who you are. No, so he's saying who you are, and what's the second question? What Arjuna asks is, what is your mission? No, what is your mission? So Arjuna's two questions are, please tell me who you are and what is your mission? He says, I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. And another point to note here is Arjuna is now becoming reverential. He's saying, I offer my obeisances unto you. So you see how now Arjuna is becoming reverential to the universal form. Ugra Rupa, he says, Ugra Rupa. So this Ugra Rupa, this is the form that has taken Arjuna by surprise. He's bewildered by seeing this form. So why does Arjuna ask these questions? Although, so Srila Prabhupada explains the purport. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. So what is the mission of that universal form? So he's asking, what is the mission of this devastating force? So now Krishna is going to answer Arjuna's questions. That takes us to section 5.
श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे एव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time, I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain.
So Arjuna's question was, who are you and what is your mission? So what does Krishna say? Who is he? He is?
He is destroyer.
Yeah, he is destroying in the form of
Time.
as time,
Time.
no? Time, he says. Time I am, he says. And what is his mission? His mission is to
Destroy.
To destroy all people.
destroy. Yes, destroy. Oh, there is only one exception. What is the exception?
The Pandavas.
The Pandavas. So Krishna is already telling Arjuna that you are going to win the war. You will survive the war. You and the Pandavas, your brothers, you will all survive the war. So he's going to destroy all the people. See, in when Krishna was describing his opulences in the 10th chapter, he says that among the subduers, I am time. Because time is something that will subdue even the strongest, no? The strongest of the strongest man on the planet can become weak with time. Because what will happen when old age strikes? He is going to become weak. The most beautiful person will lose his or her beauty. The most intelligent person will develop forgetfulness with time. So time is, and Krishna says that he is time. He is time. Chanakya Pandit said that one moment of time is greater than millions of gold coins. One moment of time is greater than millions of gold coins. So, but unfortunately, what most people tend to do is they value money more than they value time. We waste a lot of time in engaging in frivolous activities, and we think that it's okay, but we protect our wealth, our property, very, very carefully. But actually, time is more precious than um,
Any other
than
precious.
and wealth. Yes. See, time is something that you cannot recover. Can you recover time? Can you recover lost time? We cannot
No.
recover lost time.
No.
It's finished. But lost wealth, can we recover?
Yes.
Yes, we can recover
Yeah.
lost wealth. Can you store your wealth? Okay, I don't want to use this wealth now. So we can store the wealth. But can we store time? Can we
No.
say that,
No.
okay, I'm not going to use this the next 2 hours for something useful. So can I store those 2 hours? Can I
No.
store it?
No.
We cannot even store, isn't it? So wealth is something that, yes, we can store and we can recover, but time we cannot store and we cannot recover. So we should value time. We should be very careful how we use our time. And not only should we value our time, we should also value the time of somebody else. No, value time of don't, let's not waste somebody else's time either. And over and above all, time for a devotee. We should not waste anybody's time. And even more specifically, we should not waste time of a Vaishnava, of a devotee, because time is very, very precious. So anyway, what is the mission of this universal form? Krishna says that he is time, and his mission is to destroy all the people. So Arjuna already knows before the war itself that he is going to win the war, and that he and his brothers are going to survive the war. So what is Krishna indicating by saying that? He is indicating that even if Arjuna did not want to fight, they will die anyway. Anyway, they are going to die because of their own karmic reactions. So time, use it favorably while you still can. You still can use it. Let's not be in a situation where death is at our door, and we are seeing the Yamadutas. And then we think that, oh, why I did not use my life in the service of the Lord. At that time, even if we give all our wealth and everything that we may possess, and we ask Yamadutas, please give me just one moment so that I can remember Krishna. The Yamadutas are not
No.
interested. No, they are not interested. So use it favorably while you still can. The present is all we have and all that we will ever have. Let's go to 33.
तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्.
Therefore get up, prepare to fight, and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be put an instrument in the fight.
Okay, so what is Krishna saying? Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win the war. Anyway, they are going to die. Therefore, prepare to fight and win glory. And win glory, Krishna is saying, I'm sorry, not win the war, but win glory. So what does this mean? He's saying that anyway, they are going to be killed, but you fight and you win glory. So the Lord always wants that his devotee is glorified. That is the sweet relationship between the Lord and his devotees. The Lord always wants that his devotees are glorified. The devotees always want that the Lord is glorified. So Krishna is saying that you fight and you win all the glory. So because everybody will say that, yes, Arjuna was such a great warrior, he was able to win that war. Saying, conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. So what Krishna is saying here is that anyway, they are all put to death. So does Arjuna's effort matter?
No.
Does Arjuna's effort matter?
Yes, still Arjuna's effort matters.
So how do we know from this shloka that Krishna is saying that yes, your effort also matters?
He's asking him to fight and win glory.
Okay.
By being an instrument.
By being an instrument in the fight. Okay. But if one is an instrument, then one is like a puppet. The real doer is Krishna. So how can we say that Krishna actually is also saying that, yes, even your effort is important?
Then he will enjoy the kingdom also.
Oh, that is a result of Arjuna fighting. By what
Conquer-
name? Huh?
Sabyasachi,
Sabyasachi, isn't it? What does that name Sabyasachi mean?
With both hands he can fight.
With both the hands, he can fight with equal ability, isn't it? Usually one may have one strong hand, like, one who writes with the right hand will not be able to write with the equal ability with the left hand. But Arjuna, with both the hands, he could use the bow arrow with equal ability. So he is also glorifying the ability of Arjuna. This word Sabyasachi, this is the only place where Krishna calls Arjuna by this name Sabyasachi. Nowhere else does Arjuna use this name for does Krishna use this name for Arjuna. So he's telling, Krishna is saying that, yes, everybody is already put to death by my arrangement, but you, O Sabyasachi, you who have the ability, he's glorifying Arjuna by saying that, yes, you have the ability. You can be an instrument in the fight. So Krishna recognizes his own strength, his own ability. Krishna knows that his strength, his potency is unlimited. And he's also recognizing the strength of Arjuna. He's saying, oh, Sabyasachi, you can be an instrument in the fight. So when there is a mission, that when Krishna wants to use us as an instrument, he recognizes his own ability, as well as he's also recognizing the ability of his devotee. Like here, he's recognizing the ability of Arjuna, that he is Sabyasachi. So another thing to remember here is Krishna is not belittling Arjuna. He's not saying that, oh, what, you are anyway of no use. Everything is done by me. Everything is done by me. You just be my instrument. See the word here. Krishna uses is nimitta matram. Nimitta matra means you just be my instrument. So the doer is Krishna. We have to be willing to cooperate with the plan of Krishna. We should use our free will to be able to cooperate with the plan of Krishna. So Krishna says, you be an instrument in the fight. Nimitta matram. Nimitta matram. Because always, at all times, we have our free will. The point is, are we going to use our free will to become an instrument of Krishna? Are we going to go with the flow? Are we going to accept any service that is coming our way by Krishna? So then we will be, and we can become an instrument be a useful instrument, nimitta matram of Krishna, and then success is guaranteed. Then success is guaranteed. So Krishna already has the result. What he seeks is our endeavor. We have to do our side, and then Krishna will take care of the rest. We have to just do it. Adidas, their tagline for ads is just do it. So this is what we have to apply in our spiritual life. Just do it. So to perceive God, we don't need any instrument. We don't have to search for God with any instrument. We need to become his instrument. If we become his instrument, then we can perceive the presence of God. Then we can see how magic will unfold in our life. We can very easily, we can perceive. So many times, so many devotees, they can tell you that how after coming to Krishna consciousness, they are able to perceive the presence of the Lord in their life. So just become his instrument. Nimitta matram. So some lessons. Krishna does not belittle Arjuna, says you can only be an instrument, but immediately glorifies him by calling him Sabyasachi. Arjuna did not use Krishna's statement as an excuse for passivity. Instead, he took up the responsibility. So see, Arjuna already knew that he is going to win the war. He knew that he and his brothers are going to survive the war. Still, he did not become lazy. He did not say that, okay, why should I do my best? I will do whatever I can, and anyway, Krishna is going to take care of everything. No, Arjuna did his best. He took up the responsibility and he went all out and he fought the war to the best of his capability. Krishna gives assurance that success will be yours if you cooperate with my plan. So he's saying that anyway they are going to die, you take all the glory, you fight the war, and you will survive. So Krishna is assuring that success will be yours if you cooperate with my plan. Therefore, we must cooperate with Krishna's plan for us, use our skill in Krishna's service, and it will be acknowledged. See, every one of us has some skill or the other, something or the other. Somebody may be an expert musician, somebody may be very good in business, somebody may be very good in cooking, somebody may be very good in cleaning. Whatever skill one may have, you can use the skill in the service of Krishna. So Krishna eyes your activity. Now, one may ask, how do we know what is Krishna's plan for us? How do we know? Krishna is interested in uplifting us. Therefore, he sends our way opportunities to engage in service. By grabbing those opportunities, by engaging in his seva, we display our sincerity. Then in those moments of life, when things are unclear, he empowers us to achieve even the impossible. So Krishna sends our way opportunities to engage in seva. There is no shortage of engaging in some seva or the other. See, from the Damodar Leela, the lesson that we get is the Lord can be bound by the pure love of his devotees. No, how Yashoda was able to bind Krishna, how Yashoda was able to bind Ananta, the unlimited. So now Krishna will not allow one to bind him so easily, not so fast, not so easy, because he knows that if somebody renders devotional service to me, then this person is going to bind me. So how I mean, one would not easily tell a person, no, what is the secret to defeating me? Nobody is going to tell somebody how you can defeat me. So Krishna also is not going to so easily reveal how or easily allow somebody to defeat him. But we can defeat Krishna by pure love. By pure love. So when we engage in devotional service, then we are able to advance in our spiritual life. We are able to purify ourselves more and more. So then on the strength of one's pure devotional service, one can bring the Lord under one's control. The Ananta, the unlimited Lord, can be brought under the control of a pure devotee. So when the service opportunity comes, one must consider that this opportunity to serve is coming from the Lord. He is not going to give it to anyone and everyone. Not anyone and everyone will be allowed to, okay, this is the way you defeat me, and so here is your opportunity to defeat me. Here, take this weapon and then you can shoot me. Nobody's going to say that, no. So when the opportunity to serve comes, then one must take it as Krishna's mercy. The Lord is allowing you to render devotional service. So he's allowing you to do it out of his causeless mercy. So when there is any opportunity to serve, we must grab it with both the hands. We must make the best use of it. Do our best to engage in some seva and not say that, okay, I cannot. See, as far as possible, we have to engage in devotional service. And if you know, if there is a lot of service coming to you, then you know that Krishna is more and more merciful towards you. How do you know that the Lord is merciful towards you? By seeing the opportunities of service that are coming your way. If there is no service opportunity coming your way, then perhaps one needs more of that mercy. Now, it may happen that sometimes there is so much service coming your way that you're not able to do it. So what happens sometimes? The devotees will crash. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he gives this example. He says that if you want to develop muscles and you have an ability to lift, say, 10 kilos, for example. So what do? You go to the gym and you try to lift weights a little more than 10 kilos. You have to come out a little bit of your comfort zone. If you're always in your comfort zone, then how will you build the muscles? If that person is only going to lift 10 kilos because that's his capacity, he will not be able to build his muscles. So you have to come out of your comfort zone or do a little bit more than your comfort zone. Lift a little more than 10 kilos, maybe 12 kilos, 13 kilos. And like that, you can build the muscles. But if a person's capacity is 10 kilos and he goes and lifts 30 kilos, then he's going to crash under the weight. So this also, service you do according to your capacity, but a little more than your capacity. And like that, you can build up your stamina and you can take up more and more services as time goes. Always use your intelligence. Don't rush into too many services and crash. And also don't always be in your comfort zone and say, okay, I'll do the bare minimum. No, you do a little more than what you can do. So when the opportunities come to engage in service, we have to grab these opportunities. See, Krishna empowered Arjuna in the war to achieve otherwise impossible feats, like the killing of Jayadratha and the fall of Bhishma. How did he empower Arjuna to kill Jayadratha? What was the impossible condition in the killing of Jayadratha?
Due to the sunset, he just made the sunset look sunset. The sun has set, and so that the Arjuna was able to kill at that time.
Yes. So what was the difficulty?
The difficulty was that he was hidden he was hiding. Jayadratha was hiding in a place where, and he said that he will come out. They said actually that he will come out after the sun sets. So the difficult part was he was hiding, and the sun
So
was able.
Arjuna had to face many, many warriors. The entire Kaurava army was there to protect Jayadratha that day. Why? Because Arjuna had said that if he doesn't kill Jayadratha, then he will commit suicide. No. So the entire Kaurava army was, their mission that day was to protect Jayadratha so that Arjuna will not be able to kill him and then Arjuna will commit suicide. That was their plan. So did Arjuna go all out, do his best to pierce through all these warriors and reach Jayadratha? Did Arjuna do his best? Yes
He
or no?
tried his best. He tried his best, but finally Krishna did the
Did the rest, isn't it?
did the rest. Yes.
He
So
covered the
Arjuna did
sun with
his
his
best,
Sudarshan
and
Chakra.
wherever Arjuna was lacking, Krishna did his best, isn't it? He created the eclipse-like situation. So one difficulty was that he had to face so many warriors. What was the other challenge in killing of Jayadratha? Jayadratha had a special boon.
That if head should fall, if it falls on some person, that person also will be like killed.
Yes, exactly. So Jayadratha had this boon that whoever will be the cause of his head hitting the ground, his head will explode into many pieces. So how did Krishna solve that?
The head fell in the lap of his father, and
Exactly. The Krishna directed Arjuna that, okay, you make his head go on the lap of his father, isn't it? So see, we do our best, Krishna will do the rest. In the case of Bhishma Dev also, it was an impossible condition because he had the boon that he can choose when he can depart. He can choose when he can depart. So then what happened? Krishna brought in, upon Krishna's advice, they brought whom on the battlefield?
but Sanam, how we will know that we are doing our best? Sometimes it is like it's never enough.
Yeah, when you sometimes feel that it is never enough, you feel that you're crashing, then you have to make the adjustment with intelligence. You know, right? If you see, what are you doing during your 24 hours day? How much TV are you watching? How much you're chatting on the phone with friends, unnecessary talk. So if you make a note, no, what is your 24-hour period? What are you doing? You will know how much you have used in the service of the Lord and how much time you have wasted. Like that, you can keep a track.
Okay.
Okay, so Durga Prasad has answered in the chat, Shikhandi. So Shikhandi was brought, and therefore Bhishma stopped fighting, and then his body was pierced with so many arrows by Arjuna, isn't it? So Krishna empowered Arjuna to achieve otherwise impossible feats. So we do our best. Wherever we are lacking, Krishna will help us. See, this is the story of Jayadratha. I know you can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Because I just clicked on something. Okay. I know that Vridhakshatra now sits some miles from here at Samanta Panchaka Lake, deep in meditation. Therefore, empower your arrow to carry Jayadrat's head to his father's lap. So Krishna told this to Arjuna. Arjuna instantly released his arrow. It fell like a comet straight at Jayadrat, who was standing fearlessly on his chariot, caught unawares by the sudden reappearance of the sun. So Krishna created an eclipse-like situation. No? Severing his head from his neck, the arrow carried it high into the sky and out of the sight of all the warriors. After traveling a great distance, it deposited the head on Vridhakshatra's lap, that's his father. Startled, the monarch quickly stood up. As his son's head fell on the ground, his own head broke into 100 pieces and he fell dead. So if God is with you, who can stop you? Nothing else matters. If Krishna is with you, nothing else matters. Divine empowerment makes mission impossible, mission unstoppable. So whatever hindrances we feel that we have, if we just put in our effort, the Lord will empower us, and then the impossible can become possible. So does this mean that there will be no obstacles for a devotee? If one is a devotee, does it mean that there will be no obstacles in his life, no problems, no
There
hindrances?
will always be obstacles for a devotee. Like Arjun had always obstacles in coming through his way, even though he got help.
Exactly. There will still be obstacles. So what is the meaning of empowerment? Empowerment means perseverance amidst the obstacles. One develops the ability, one develops the capability to persevere amongst the obstacles. One will not give up. One continues the fight. One is empowered to continue to persevere in the obstacles. It does not mean absence of obstacles. A river does not turn around, discouraged upon reaching an obstacle. It instead finds a new path to keep moving in the same direction. So this is the lesson we get from the river. Arjuna didn't use Krishna's assurance of empowerment to expect or demand an obstacle-free service. So Arjuna is not saying, okay, now you want me to fight the war and you're already telling me that I'm going to win the war. So then give me a service that does not have any obstacles. No, instead, he persevered relentlessly. Arjuna's path was far from obstacle-free. He had to fight many demanding battles, had to face frustrations, had to endure heart-wrenching losses of loved ones. Imagine his own son, no? Abhimanyu had died in the war. So he had to endure heart-wrenching losses of loved ones. What then was his empowerment? It was his unshakable resolve to keep fighting, even in the midst of obstacles. And when his utmost efforts were not enough, Krishna intervened miraculously. See, Srila Prabhupada, he also faced many obstacles when he went to the West. See, Prabhupada says in a lecture, here I am now sitting in New York, the world's greatest city, such a magnificent city, but my heart is always hankering after that Vrindavan. I shall be very happy to return to my Vrindavan, that sacred place. But then, why are you here now? Because it is my duty. I have brought some message for you people, because I have been ordered by my superior, my spiritual master. Whatever you have learned, you should go to the Western countries and you must distribute this knowledge. So, in spite of all my difficulties, all my inconveniences, I am here because I'm obligated by duty. If I go and sit down in Vrindavan, that will be good for my personal conveniences. I shall be very comfortable there and I will have no anxiety, nothing of that sort. But I have taken all the risk in this old age because I am duty bound. I am duty bound. So I have to execute my duty despite all my inconveniences, says Srila Prabhupada. On the 13th of August in 1965, Srila Prabhupada departed from Calcutta. And after more than a month, he arrived in Boston, USA. What did he have with him? He had with him only one small suitcase, one umbrella, one bag of dry cereal, and 200 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. How was his health? He suffered while on the Jaladuta, seasickness, dizziness, headache, no appetite, vomiting, and he suffered 2 heart attacks. And he thought that if he gets a third one, he is not going to survive. So he's on board the ship right in the middle of the ocean when he's got 2 massive heart attacks. So there, when he was on board the Jaladuta, he wrote prayers to Krishna. It's called as Markine. And the excerpts of that I would like to read here. It's of all the literature, of all the things that Prabhupada has written, this is my most favorite. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me, but I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudev. I do not know how they will be able to understand it, but I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have become under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only they will be able to understand your message. The words of the Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives them with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18th of September, 1965. So there are so many points, so many gems of wisdom. You can see how Prabhupada is utterly depending on the mercy of Krishna, how he recognizes that if you want, he says that if you want, then they will be able to understand your message. And you see how Prabhupada is so humble, the humility of Prabhupada. How is he signing? The most unfortunate, insignificant beggar. This is how he signs that letter that he wrote to Krishna. So when after his first vision of the Western world in Boston, then he had composed this poem. He had maintained a diary on board the Jaladuta, and then this is a part of that diary that he had maintained. So His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj, he also comments on this. He says, I will begin by reading a couple of exchanges with Srila Prabhupada about his coming to America. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked, your god brothers who came to the West went to England and Germany. Why did you choose to come to America? So other disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, had also gone to the West, and they had also tried to spread the Krishna conscious movement in the Western world, but they did not meet with success. They did not meet with success. Srila Prabhupada received unprecedented success, even more than what he himself was expecting, as Prabhupada himself says. So, once Srila Prabhupada was asked, your godbrothers came to the West and went to England and Germany. Why did you choose to come to America? And he replied, they went and came back to India without accomplishing anything. So I thought, if I'm going to fail, at least let me fail in a different place. And on a morning walk in Los Angeles, a disciple said to Prabhupada, when you came to the Western world, no one anywhere believed it would be successful. But actually, it has become very successful by preaching. I myself did not believe I shall be successful, Prabhupada replied. What to speak of others? But because I did in the proper line, so it has become successful. Of course, it was a difficult voyage for Srila Prabhupada on the ship Jaladuta, and on the way he had 2 heart attacks, and he thought that if he had a third, he might not survive. He kept a diary, and that has been published, the Jaladuta diary. Then, this is a conversation, Giriraj Maharaj is giving this class, and this particular devotee says, I heard Prabhupada saying that he was successful because he was in line. So does that mean being in line with the disciplic succession? My question is, weren't his god brothers also in line? Because yes, the god brothers also are belonging to that bona fide disciplic succession. So what was the difference? So Giriraj Maharaj explains, the difference I would say, and I'm not saying, I'm repeating what Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said. Srila Prabhupada had a god brother named Bon Maharaj, and Bon Maharaj also came to the West. So once Babaji Maharaj asked Bon Maharaj, you went to the West and Swami Prabhupada went to the West. That was how they refer to Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. You went to the West and Swami Maharaj went to the West. You presented the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and he presented the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. You did the same things that he did, but he was successful and you could not do anything. What is the reason? And then Babaji Maharaj himself gave the answer, because he had full faith in the holy name of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says as much here, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. That is his humility. But I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. And if he had faith, that if we chanted, everything else would follow. Everything else would follow. So Prabhupada said that he has no devotion, no knowledge. But of course, he had devotion, he had knowledge. But out of humility, Prabhupada said that I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. But Prabhupada said that I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. He had strong faith in the holy. So there is a lot of potency in chanting the holy name. If you are chanting, everything else automatically follows. Everything else automatically follows. See. And he had faith that if we chanted, everything else would follow. So if you are not chanting, please chant. If you are already chanting, please try to maximize it. Try to come to the minimum level of 16 rounds. Because once you are able to chant, everything else automatically comes. Everything comes. It all comes from chanting. There is a lot of potency in chanting the holy name. So this is a talk by Giriraj Swami on Srila Prabhupada's arrival in America, September 9th, 2020, ISKCON Portland via Zoom. Does it mean that a devotee never meets failure? Does a devotee?
They do.
Yes, devotees also meet failure. So then what's the big deal? Now, can you identify the personalities on the screen? Who are the personalities on the screen?
Ravan,
Ravan,
Karna,
No,
Karna,
Sita Mata.
Sita, yes.
And
And
a bird.
And the
Who's a
bird.
devotee?
Jatayu,
Yes.
Yeah, Jatayu.
So who's a devotee?
Jatayu.
So was Jatayu successful or did he meet failure?
Successful.
How was he successful? Was he successful in preventing Ravan from taking Sita?
No.
No.
No, that was his mission. No, that's what Jatayu wanted. Jatayu wanted to prevent Ravan from taking Sita, but did he meet with success?
No.
No.
No. So a devotee
No.
can also meet with
Failure.
failure. But does it mean that Krishna is not with him? If a devotee does not meet with success, does it mean that Krishna is not with him?
No. He is, Krishna is always with him.
Yes, the Lord is always with his devotees, isn't it? So what
Yes.
happened when Jatayu was dying? Did Lord Ram help Jatayu?
Yes.
Rama only
Yes,
performed
he
the
himself,
final rites.
in fact, he himself performed the last rites for Jatayu,
Yeah.
just like how the son would do for his father, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Jatayu may have lost the battle with Ravan, but he won the war over Maya.
My.
He won the war over Maya. No? Jatayu persevered for hours to prevent Ravan from taking Sita away. Thus, although in the body of a vulture, he attained the spiritual kingdom. So, although he's in the body of a vulture, he attained the spiritual kingdom. So, he won the war against Maya. We may
Maya.
lose small battles in our life, but ultimately, a devotee will win the war over Maya. Here, another example. Can you identify the personality here? Who was being killed? On the battlefield, 6 warriors simultaneously attacked him in the war.
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu?
Abhimanyu, isn't it? Abhimanyu.
Yeah.
So, from the external angle of vision, you can say, yes, Arjuna was, Abhimanyu was defeated. But again, in the broad context, see here, upon the death of Abhimanyu, Vyasadeva addresses a grieving Yudhishthir. He said, "You should not lament for the boy. By laying down his life in battle, he has gone to regions only attained by those who perform the foremost of sacrifices. There he will reside in unending bliss. No enjoyment in this world would be able to entice him away from where he has gone now. O king, he shines like a god in a splendid new body. We should grieve for those who are still living rather than those who have attained such an end." So Vyasadeva tells Yudhishthira that you should be grieving for those who are still alive on this battlefield instead of grieving for Abhimanyu, because he's gone to a better region, better place. He has a better body. So again, Abhimanyu, from the external angle of vision, he lost. But from the broad angle of vision, you can see how he has actually attained something better than what he previously had. On that, okay, we may lose the fight, but we must not lose the fighting spirit. For an ordinary person, maximum success that one can attain depends on what? Maximum success that a person can attain, an ordinary person can attain, depends on what factor?
Karma.
Material things.
Karma, yes, karma. Depends on his karmic credits. But for a devotee, maximum success that he attains depends on what?
On his
Mercy of
devotional
Krishna.
service.
On
Mercy.
his
Mercy of Krishna.
on the mercy of Krishna,
Perseverance.
how much Krishna empowers him. No, so as we discussed previously, Krishna can overwrite the rules of the game. Even though it may not be in your karma, Krishna can still decide to give it to you. And even though something may be in your karma, Krishna may decide not to give it to you because it is not good for your spiritual well-being. So Krishna can override the rules of the game. Because we can do the impossible, does it mean we can do everything? Because Krishna empowers his devotee. Because we
No.
can do the impossible, does it mean we can do everything?
No.
No.
What is something that Arjuna was not able to do, even though he was so empowered by Krishna in the war? What Arjuna could not do?
Like he was not able to find Jayadratha also for
Yeah, he was not able to get to Jayadratha,
yeah.
but eventually he was successful. No, eventually Arjuna was able to kill Jayadratha. But what was the one thing that he was not able to do? And the effect remained. He was not able to save his own son, isn't it?
Yes. True.
He was not able to save Abhimanyu.
Mm.
No, we are not God. Only God is God. When God empowers us, we may do the impossible. But God is not bound to empower us to do everything. So that is up to Krishna. How much he wants to empower us, when, for what? No, that is for Krishna to decide. Even if we long to do something, he may empower someone else to do it. Or he may decide that it needn't happen at all. So that is Krishna, completely independent. Swarat. Divine empowerment is both real and independent. Example, during the war, Arjuna achieved the impossible on several occasions, most famously when he penetrated through the entire Kaurava army to fell Jayadratha. Yet, despite achieving such impossible feats, Arjuna couldn't achieve everything. He could not save Abhimanyu. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? Kirtilata.
Mataji, you said when it came to time, we should not waste the time of the Vaishnavas especially. Can you explain more on that?
No, in the sense that let's say that you have some okay, let's say you have requested some Vaishnavas in the temple to come over for lunch or dinner, or you want the Vaishnavas to engage in a particular, let's say you have a program in the house and you're asking a Vaishnava, or you're telling the temple devotees to come and sing kirtan in your house. But then, so a lot of planning is done, or you're arranging that the devotee comes and give a class, and you are inviting people in your home and the devotee is giving class. But then at the last minute, you say that, okay, no more class. Or you have the devotees in your home. You tell them the program will begin at 6:30, but you begin the program at 7:30. No, so then you're wasting the time of the Vaishnavas. So like that, you try as far as possible not to waste the time of the devotees. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. I was thinking like we request Vaishnavas also to help us, like when we are struggling. So is that a waste of time?
No, that's not a waste of time, because that's what a Vaishnava wants to do. No, a Vaishnava wants to pray. That is not wasting of time. That is that you're putting good use to the time of a Vaishnava. Wasting time means in unnecessary talk, unnecessary stuff. You're not respecting. Let's say you're inviting somebody to your home and then you're not respecting the time. Sometimes, say, like for example, I heard Gaur Gopal Prabhu saying in a lecture, because he goes to these big industrialist homes. They invite him for programs, etc. And mostly their programs is late in the night. So he says that, sometimes he, because they are free only late in the night, no, after 10, 11, like that. So they are invited, but then they don't necessarily always respect. I mean, they invite them at a certain time, but then the other guests are arriving late. So then the program is delayed. So like that, it's unnecessarily wasting the time of a Vaishnava. But when you consult another Vaishnava, then you're putting good use to the time. That's not waste. Wasting of time is different. And utilizing time is different. Positively utilize the time.
Okay, Mataji, I have another question. So empowered means we have to persevere. And I was thinking of the sparrow example also. Like the sparrow wanted to come, that try out the lake to
Yes.
take its egg. So that is what empowerment means. The Garuda came and he emptied. Is it what?
Exactly, yes. Because that sparrow was so sincere, so determined and so sincere, it was an impossible feat to dry up the whole ocean. But because the sincerity of the sparrow attracted, see, sincerity always attracts the Lord. Sincerity, humility, these qualities will always attract the Lord. So in this case, the sparrow's sincerity attracted the Lord, and then the Lord did the needful. Correct. Perfect.
So when to know we have to give up or when not to give up? Like we may involve in some things which are not practical also.
Not practical? No, that's the whole point. You do your best. You do your best according to what is, see, each one of us has certain abilities. If you, for example, let's say you are an expert cook, then you can use that cooking seva for the pleasure of the Lord. Or one may be an expert painter, you can paint for the Lord. So you do your best. If, as long as you're not wasting your time watching, uh, people watch sometimes 3 hours cricket match, no? Or one is watching a movie for 3 hours. So don't waste your time in frivolous activities. And if you're packing your 24-hour period in Krishna conscious activities, then you're good. Then, yeah, then maybe you cannot do all the services that are coming your way. Then sometimes, see, Prabhupada explains that sometimes you have to choose. Sometimes you have more services. I think it's in the Damodar Leela purports only, where Prabhupada says that sometimes you have to choose one service over another service. For example, Mata Yashoda, she had to choose, no? Either she goes and attends to the pot of milk that is boiling on the stove, or she has to continue to feed Krishna. So there Prabhupada explains that sometimes you have to choose between two services, but you do your best under your time, place, and circumstances. You know, no, when you are wasting time and when you are utilizing time, and you have so much service that you cannot do everything. But you know, the person knows how much time I have wasted in frivolous activities and how much time I have put to use in Krishna conscious activities. Actually, one good idea is to make a note. What did I do today? Wake up time, so and so. Then so and so time to so and so time, what did I do? Sometimes we are studying on the internet. We are browsing through the Veda ways, but sometimes, or we are watching a video on YouTube, and then a video may come up which has got nothing to do with Veda ways or Prabhupada's lectures or any other lecture or Krishna conscious activities. Just some mundane video has come up, and we may get so lost, and then one video leads to another video leads to another video, and we have seen that 45 minutes I have spent watching unnecessary videos like that. So it's good to keep track in your, write it down. How, so now how much, what have you done in your 24-hour period?
Thank you, Mataji.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question.
Yes.
So actually, in all the warriors crush into mouths of Krishna, right? They are in their devotees also crushing into mouth. How to understand that?
How to
Because the
understand?
devotee, yeah,
What is it? Yeah.
because with other
Yeah.
warriors, devotees also, like Bhishma also, I heard that they are crushing into his mouths, right? It is also like that. It's horrible death only, right? Because what we see here, normally a non-devotee's death is horrible. Like so many examples we have seen how cub with kitten like that. That example is there, na? So like that. So, but the devotee also here, it looks like horrible only in crushing into his mouth. It's not a peaceful death, something like that.
Okay, I don't have the answer to your question.
Okay, Mataji, maybe later. Thank you.
Yeah,
And one more
maybe for
question.
next week. I will try to research this and let me see if I can come up with something in the next class. Okay.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. And that even the doubt, one more doubt is still there. So did they attain the supreme personality, the other non-devotees also? So actually, my
Yeah.
understanding is I did not understand that little bit confusion, because even though they are not devotees, they are attaining their original forms. Up to Sayupya, that different stages are there now. So if they attain Brahman, that's fine. But they attain supreme abode even after doing all nonsense. If they go there, they will get devotion service certainly. Because in Goloka, they should have only services serve God. So even though all atrocities they did, at the end, they are getting service to Krishna. Then how to understand this?
So that's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. No, he writes in the purport that they all attain Swarupa, they all attain the spiritual form because Krishna was present on the battlefield and they saw him when they were giving up the body. So even if you do all kinds of nonsense, but at the time of death, even that one moment, even the one
Remembering.
moment before death, if you can see Krishna, think of Krishna, then Krishna will take you. So Prabhupada, we read in today's purport, no, where Bhishma Dev was speaking, there Prabhupada explains that they all attained Swarupa because they saw Krishna at the time of death. He was personally present on the battlefield. And that was the changing game.
Yeah, that of course that is fine, but still they have done these things. No, there should be something like that. But of course, maybe it's human mentality to think like that. But because there should be some lesson, right? Because other devotees also think even though they did something like their time. Of course, it is certainly causeless mercy of Krishna. How to see this? Understand?
Causeless mercy means there is no cause. It's the mercy without any reason. So
Yeah,
even though we may think that probably they did not deserve it, but Krishna gives them causeless. So there is no reason for him to give that mercy.
or any other earlier his means their life. There any connection is there something like that?
It may be
Previous
because
lives.
there is a past life of Duryodhan, there is a past life of Karna as well, how they were demons. And then even Abhimanyu was destined to be for 60. So like that, then each and every warrior, you have to individually study the past. It is that there are some past life stories are there, but this is thousands, no, millions of people on the battlefield.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there, like something like that. There is any story all bringing it at one place and taking God back to Godhead, something like that.
Yeah, there can be, but then how will you research that?
Yeah, okay, Mataji. Okay, then one more final question that how to get the taste, Mataji? Prabhupada has complete faith in this holy name. So how to attain that?
Yeah, so just do it. The more you engage in devotional service, the more you get purified. The more we chant. See, Prabhupada said, drink, 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 and you become a drunkard. Chant, 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 and you become a perfect chanter. So it all comes from chanting. Whether you like it or not, you chant your rounds to the best of your capacity, day in and day out. Finally, that day will come when you will develop the taste for chanting. It will come with time, with practice, constant practice, it will come. Then you will come to the stage where whatever you speak will be the truth. Srila Prabhupada was on that level, no? Whatever Prabhupada spoke would be true because Krishna wants that what his devotee speaks should not be false. No, you can come to that level by the power of your devotional service. Prahalad, we discussed in the previous class also how because Prahalad said, yes, the Lord is in this pillar. Therefore, Narsimadev appeared from that pillar because the Lord does not want that my devotees' words become false. So chant, chant, chant.
Yeah, of course they have that much faith. We don't have that.
Yes.
But everything mechanically
Faith
going.
will come. The more you chant, the more your faith will. See, the more we chant, the more we engage in devotional service, the more the Lord reciprocates. Right? So because what does Krishna say? That he reciprocates in proportion to one's surrender. So the more you surrender, the more you're engaged in devotional service, the more Krishna will reciprocate. And as you see in your life how Krishna is reciprocating from your own personal experience, obviously your faith will increase. So you're doing more devotional service, Krishna is reciprocating more. You can feel the presence of the Lord in your life. Your faith increases. So then you do more chanting, more devotional service. The Lord reciprocates even more. So then your faith increases even more. It's a cycle.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mata, can you put in the YouTube channel of this today right away because I I actually missed a lot of stuff in the class, so like if I could like look to
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
very much.
I can do that. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Sanam.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. Where you said that Shikhandi's head fell on his father, who was very far away, right?
No, not Shikhandi, Jayadratha.
Jayadrat, sorry. Head fell on his father's lap, right? Who
Yes.
was meditating.
Yes.
Why on his father's lap and no one from the battlefield? Why a man who's sitting in meditation has to be killed later?
Okay, so the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that if you're not able to liberate your dependence, then you should not have any dependence. So somewhere the father failed to make his son a devotee. So there the father has to take the responsibility for the children if the children are not devotees.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, because he had to take the responsibility, Krishna said, okay, The father takes a responsibility, and therefore it's the father who has to pay the price.
Okay.
Why somebody else?
Okay.
Yeah,
And
Was it
another,
because
Mataji?
the Bhagavatam says that you should not take dependence if you cannot deliver them. You should not become a guru if you cannot deliver your disciples. You cannot become a parent, you cannot become a father if you cannot deliver your children. So it is our responsibility as parents, or the responsibility of a spiritual master, to deliver his disciples, or his whatever dependence one may have. One has the responsibility of delivering them, making them devotees. Otherwise, we are failing in our duty.
okay. And my second question is, among the 5 Pandavas, why didn't the elder brother participate and instead of Arjuna do the needful? Why did Arjuna, why was Arjuna chosen? Because he was a great warrior, or
No, because he is a, when you say participate, means Yudhishthir also participated in the war.
participated, but like how Arjuna was the main person, right?
Yeah, Arjuna was more surrendered. So therefore, Krishna drove the chariot of Arjuna. Not only because Arjuna had some skills, because Arjuna was more surrendered. Therefore,
And the other,
Krishna empowered
and
him.
the others, the other brothers,
They were
the
also
other
surrendered, but Arjuna was most surrendered.
Yes, there is a
So,
pastime. While he's sleeping, from every body, I think Krishna like that, it is there in the war. After that war, that story is there, Mataji.
From Arjuna's breath, he was chanting the name of Krishna. Yes. And
so
also,
he,
they say, Arjuna, Yudhishthir also, you can, if we have to analyze, there was a time in the war when Krishna told Yudhishthir to tell Dronacharya that Ashwadama has been killed. Now Yudhishthir is one person who had never spoken a lie in his entire
lie.
life.
Yeah.
Okay. But for that one moment, Yudhishthir hesitated. Should I follow this instruction of Krishna or should I not follow? For one moment, even Yudhishthir had a doubt. So whether I should, yes, you can say that the others were surrendered, but Arjuna was most surrendered.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Mataji, regarding the instrument, I was thinking, like how, what made Krishna choose Arjuna's instrument and even Prabhupada's instrument? What is the one quality that, because I have heard that being an instrument is not easy, one has to has lot of purity. Can you explain?
Yeah, it is again the same thing. In proportion to your surrender, Krishna empowers you. So Krishna will choose you to be his instrument based on your level of surrender, based on your ability also. He sees abilities, but if the ability is lacking, then Krishna will do the needful. But the point is, he empowers you when he sees that, yes, you are surrendered. And when Krishna empowers, means he's giving you his mercy. So when do we become recipient of Krishna's mercy? Is when we surrender. Again, that is a proportion to our surrender. And how do we surrender? Devotional service. The best way to surrender is chanting the holy name. So how do we become instruments? How does Krishna choose us to become instruments? Again, it also can be via the medium of the bona fide spiritual master, no? Like how in the case of, you mentioned Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada received the instruction to go to the West from his spiritual master. So because Prabhupada wanted to fulfill the instruction of his spiritual master, he went to the West, and Krishna gave him all that he was lacking. So the mercy can come through the disciplic succession also. When the spiritual master gives you an instruction, then he also empowers you to fulfill that instruction. The spiritual master will not give an instruction that the disciple cannot fulfill. See, there is this example of this illiterate Brahmin who was given the instruction to read the Bhagavad Gita daily. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes to him and he says that, why are you crying? Because this Brahman is flipping through the pages. He's trying to read something, but he's illiterate, so he's not pronouncing properly. He's not reading properly. And he has tears in his eyes. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him that, why are you crying? So he says that when I visualize, when I think about how merciful Krishna is, that he's driving the chariot, he's taking the subordinate position of being the servant of Arjuna, then I have tears in my eyes. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, yes, you have perfectly understood the Bhagavad Gita. So he's completely illiterate. No, he cannot read. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu branded him as somebody who has perfectly understood the Bhagavad Gita. So why? Because he is sincerely trying to follow the instruction that his guru has given him. So that empowerment will come with sincerity. When you sincerely try to follow the instruction of Guru and Krishna, then Krishna will empower you. It all depends on Prabhupada also. He very sincerely wanted to fulfill the instruction that his spiritual master had given him. When we take initiation, the Guru tells us, chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles. So now we are fulfilling the instruction. So the Guru is also empowering the disciple to chant, to follow the 4 regulative principles, which we do even before initiation. But post-initiation, you are empowered by the spiritual master to do it. So it makes a lot of difference when one accepts a Guru. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay, so the exam for chapter 11 has been put up on the group by Disha. I hope you start working on it. Please don't keep it for the last few days. It is very stressful to be working in the last days because we give a lot of time. And actually, if you concentrate and focus within 2-3 hours, you can finish the exam. So please try and avoid doing a last minute stuff. If you have any doubts or concerns, you can definitely message me. Till then, have a nice week in Krishna consciousness. Thank you all very much. Vanchakalpataruvyascha kripa sindhu vyayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
जय हरे कृष्ण दामी प्रणाम माता जी
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Sanam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.